Okay, I am recording. Welcome to Brain Health Game Part 2 with Laurelville and Dawn Davoli of Excela Health. Thank you everyone for joining us. And we have two people cooking along today. And again, if you want to turn off your mics at this point, you're welcome to put questions in the chat or raise your hand. And if you go up to view in the top right corner and hit speaker view, Dawn will fill your screen. Take it away, Dawn.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Dawn Davoli. I am a registered dietitian / nutritionist, and I do consulting work with Excela Health. The purpose of today's meeting virtually is it's part 2 of a series. It's on brain health, and part 1 was the actual Zoom lecture talking about ways to lower our chances of developing dementia and Alzheimer's through learning new things, increasing our exercise,
down here in the lower left-hand corner,
getting involved with social interaction, maybe getting back out into the community with volunteering, meeting with friends. And then we talked a little bit about diet, since that happens to be my expertise. So there is a diet that has been shown to lower your chances of developing Alzheimer's and dementia by about 50%, which in my book, that's pretty good. The MIND diet, it's called the MIND diet. So MIND, M-I-N-D, each letter in the acronym stands for something. So the MIND diet is the Mediterranean diet for intervention of neurodegenerative delay. Okay, so it's a combination of the Mediterranean and the DASH diet. Okay, so that's the M. Intervention for neurodegenerative delay. So what we're trying to do is slow down our chances of developing dementia and Alzheimer's by eating the Mediterranean and DASH diet way. Okay, so the Mediterranean diet, for those of you that are not familiar with it, it is a diet. It's more of a lifestyle than a diet that you would do for, say, 2 months. It is a lifestyle way of eating where whole grains are encouraged, lots of fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, fish and seafood, olive oil, and trying to really limit the intake of red meat. Okay, so the DASH diet incorporates a lot of those same principles, yet goes one step further to really watch the sodium intake in our foods and what we add to the table, what we add to cooking. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we are going to make a MIND diet friendly meal. It happens to be called sheet pan Hawaiian shrimp. And for those of you that registered for the class, you were sent the recipe along with a list of ingredients to purchase, what kind of equipment that you will need, etc. Okay, so I believe a couple of you are going to cook along with me. The others are going to watch, which is perfectly fine. This is being recorded, so you can always go back and if you missed a step, rewatch this event. Okay, so let's start off by reviewing what our ingredients are. Okay, so for our sheet pan Hawaiian shrimp meal, we will need some whole grain rice. Okay, now the recipe, actually the printed recipe is saying to use jasmine rice. Now, you know, jasmine rice is a white rice. I'm actually going to flop that out and use a whole grain brown rice in my cooking here. Okay, we're trying to make this more brain health friendly. We're going to need 2 packages of that. Okay, we need 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Olive oil is a brain-friendly oil. 2 cups of fresh pineapple chunks. 1 large red bell pepper chopped. Now, instead of using a whole red pepper, in my refrigerator, I had half of a red pepper and half of an orange pepper. So I'm using that, okay? It's just gonna add some more color to our meal. And then 1.5 pounds of shrimp. Okay, I just am using this frozen shrimp that I purchased at a local store. 3 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of rice vinegar, black pepper, cilantro leaves, and then I am adding to this sheet pan meal 2 extra brain-friendly foods. Okay, one happens to be bok choy, and the other is cashews. Okay, so I'm adding those to really boost the brain power of this meal. Okay, so we're going to get started. So the first step is we want to preheat our oven to 450. Okay. And you're going to put your sheet pan in the oven. So those that are cooking along with us, they tuned in a little bit early, so we already started that step. So what we want to do is get our sheet pan nice and hot. Okay, so while that's heating up, we're going to microwave our rice. Okay, now, like I said, the recipe calls for jasmine rice. It calls for the pre-cooked rice. And I'm boosting the brain power of this recipe by using brown rice. Now, this is what I'm using. It is a 90-second quinoa and brown rice. I just purchased this at Aldi's. My local Aldi's was out of the brown rice that I usually use for this cook-along. So I went ahead and just got the quinoa, right? So quinoa, for those of you that aren't familiar with quinoa, it's an ancient grain. It is a source of protein, okay? So we're gonna get a little protein boost in this meal from our whole grain. So this is a mixture of quinoa and brown rice. So I thought, you know what? A lot of times I just use recipes as a guide anyway, and I like to substitute things in and out. So I'm using this 90-second quinoa and brown rice. So the instructions on the packet have you open up the package. We're going to put it in our microwave and 90 seconds. Okay, so there's 2 of these, so I think I'm going to go for 2 minutes. Okay, so while that's microwaving, let's talk a little bit about whole grains. So this grain is going to be the base of our sheet pan meal. You'll see as we go along, we're just going to keep making layers right onto this sheet pan. And what I love about this meal is it's so versatile, right? So maybe you don't have brown rice, okay? Maybe you don't like it. Maybe you want to use the jasmine rice. That's perfectly fine. I'm just trying to give you the most bang for your buck on the brain health foods. Okay, so if you came to the Zoom part 1 of this brain health, where we played the brain health game, we talked about 10 brain healthy foods. Okay, so these 10 healthy brain foods are the following. Number 1, berries. Okay, number 2, leafy greens. Number 3, other vegetables. Number 4, whole grains. And that's what we're starting as the base of our meal. Okay, whole grains. Okay, number 5, nuts. Number 6 on the brain healthy foods is poultry. Number 7 is fish or seafood. Number 8, beans and legumes. 9, red wine, and 10, olive oil. Okay, so you're going to see as we go through this recipe that 6 of the foods that I'm going to be using in our sheet pan meal are brain healthy foods. Okay, so that's more than 50% of the foods that are out there. So this is going to be a super brain healthy meal. Okay, so the microwave just ended. That means my rice is ready to come out. Okay. What I love about these grains that are in this microwave bag from Aldi's, and I know you can get these at other grocery stores. I just happen to be a fan of Aldi's. I think they have a lot of great products. So what we're going to do is you're just going to take your cooked rice. You're going to put it in a bowl. Okay. Can't get much easier than that. And then to this, we're going to add the olive oil. Okay. So this is 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay, so you just add that, and then you're going to stir it around. So coat the rice, the brown rice. If you're using brown rice, mine is a mixture of quinoa and brown rice, or if you're using the jasmine rice. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. Our sheet pan should be ready. Okay, so let's pull our sheet pan out. Okay, it's nice and hot. All right, so what we want to do here is, I hope I have enough space here. I'm running out of space here. Let's move some things here. Okay, so you can see my sheet pan is coated with parchment paper. I am a big fan of parchment paper. It just makes cleanup so much easier. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take your sheet pan and you're just going to put this rice on the sheet pan. You're going to spread it out. Okay, because like I said, this is the first layer of our meal. Okay. You're going to keep your oven on. Don't shut your oven off. All right, keep your oven on, and then this, okay, you can see how it's just layered on the sheet pan. We're going to put this back into our 450-degree oven, and we're going to let this cook with the oil on it for 5 minutes. Okay, so let's set a timer here, 5 minutes. Okay, all right, so while that is in the oven cooking, let's talk about what we're going to add next on the sheet pan. Okay, so after that comes out, we're going to top that rice with our pineapple and our peppers. Okay, now I told you earlier that I used what I had in my refrigerator. I had some extra peppers. I always have peppers. I had half of a red one, half of an orange one, so that's what I'm using. Okay, other vegetables happen to be a brain health food. That's where peppers would come in. Okay, peppers are an excellent source of vitamin C. They are with the vitamin C that helps not only with brain health, but vitamin C helps keep our immune system healthy. Okay, and I think we're all trying to do that these days, keeping our immune system healthy. So adding our peppers to our meal. Let's talk a little bit about our pineapple here. Okay, so the recipe calls for fresh pineapple. Now, maybe you couldn't find that in the store. Maybe you're not willing to, cut it yourself. That's perfectly fine. You can use canned pineapple. Just get the canned pineapple that's in the juice, right? Not the heavy syrup. And you can substitute that very easily. Now, I happen to be using a fresh pineapple. Earlier, before everyone logged in, one of the participants was talking about this really fun tool she has to cut fresh pineapple. Don't be intimidated with fresh pineapple. There is an easy way to cut it, okay? All you do is you take your pineapple, you know, with the stems up, lay it on its side. You're going to cut the top pointy part off, and you're going to cut the bottom part off, okay? So you want your pineapple to your fresh pineapple on the cutting board to be standing tall with flat bottom and a flat top. Then you're just going to take a very sharp knife and you're going to go around the edges and you're going to cut off that prickly skin. Okay, so you're just going to, you know, twist your pineapple, cut it very gently along the side until all that prickly skin is off. Then you're going to have all your yellow flesh, right? The next thing you want to do to cut your fresh pineapple is we're going to cut it in fourths. Okay, so north, south, you're going to cut it, and then you're going to cut it east, west. So you're going to have these big spears. Okay, so keep the spear standing and then cut off the innermost core, right? So the smallest part of the spear is going to be that tough core that you're going to want to cut out, okay? You can save it if you want. You can put it in a smoothie. It's safe to eat. It's just kind of tough, okay? So you can use it like in a smoothie or something where it's going to be blended up. And then, so you cut the cores off, and then that leaves you with your fresh pineapple. Then you're just going to cut it into spears and then make it into chunks, okay? So that is an easy way to cut a fresh pineapple. Don't be intimidated with fresh pineapple. There are lots of ways to cut it, right? That just happens to be the way that I do it. Somebody had a really cool tool that drills into the pineapple and makes beautiful rings. Then you can just use those rings and cut them into chunks, okay? So I'm gonna take a peek at our rice and see how it's doing. Okay, it's coming along very nicely. So, like I said, this recipe uses 6 of the 10 brain healthy foods, okay? The whole grain, right? The rice is one of them. And then we have our other vegetables, which would be the peppers, okay? Are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions? This might be a good time to see if we have any questions. Okay. Mary, any questions in the chat box? Okay.
Not that I see.
Okay, so no questions. All right. Wow, you guys are a very easy group to work with. Okay, so the timer is going off on the grains. So we're going to pull the rice out of the oven. Ooh, does this smell good? Wow. Okay, so you can see it's not very well cooked, a little bit crispy from the oil and the cooking of the rice. So to this, we are going to add the pineapple. Okay, we just spread this out. That's what's nice about a sheet pan meal. You just kind of dump everything onto your pan. Okay, so there's the pineapple. And then we're going to add the peppers. Okay, so I have half and half. So I want these to be mixed up nicely. I don't want all the orange in one section, all the red in one section. Okay. All right, so you can see how this looks, right? Can you see that? Okay, so we're keeping our oven on during this whole cook along, And this is going to go back in the oven for 5 minutes. All right, so let's set our timer for 5 minutes. All right, so while the pineapple and the peppers are cooking, let's talk about the next layer, okay? So the next layer is going to be the shrimp layer, okay? So the recipe asks that you use raw, large shrimp, peeled and deveined, okay? Now, I happened to, when I was at Aldi's getting the rice, I noticed that they sell frozen shrimp. And I have had these shrimp before. They are jumbo size. They are a beautiful size, okay, of shrimp. They are also peeled and deveined. They do, however, have the tail one, okay, which that does not bother me. And they are cooked, okay? So the recipe is if you bought the uncooked shrimp, the recipe says to put it in the oven for 6 minutes. Okay, I'm just going to use about 3 minutes just to heat mine up because my shrimp are already cooked. Okay, so here's what I mean about me using recipes as a guide. Okay, I know the recipe calls for shrimp. I didn't buy the raw shrimp. I went with the frozen, already cooked shrimp. So just adjust your time in the cooking, okay? So the shrimp are one of the brain healthy foods, okay? So it falls into the seafood category. And what this Mind diet has been shown to do is that they just really recommend eating fish 1 time a week, okay? So either fish or some kind of seafood, okay? So with the fish, right? Salmon, halibut, tuna, cod, or shrimp, scallops. It doesn't necessarily have to be the super high, omega-3 fatty acid fish that we hear about all the time. That's great. We can do that. But also using shrimp, also a good source of omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, so just 1 time a week has been shown to help lower our chances of developing dementia and Alzheimer's, okay, with the Mind diet. Lots of studies. This diet has been out for several years. It's really gaining in popularity right now because a lot of us are very concerned with, developing dementia and Alzheimer's. Okay, so the Mind diet proven to help with that. Okay, so the shrimp is going to go on the next layer, right? And again, I'm using the frozen, already cleaned, already cooked, peeled and deveined shrimp with the tail on. All right. Questions at this point. How many of you bought the raw shrimp? The people that are cooking along with me.
I love their raw shrimp. I love Aldi.
I know, I do too. I start my grocery shopping there because I find that their produce is very fresh. They have a nice variety. They have a lot of, if you were into the organic foods, I mean, this just simply happens to be organic, but they have a wide variety of whole grains. If you are on a gluten-free diet, they have a lot of gluten-free foods at the store, okay? Their frozen fish, their frozen shrimp, I think it can't be beat. I always keep a bag of this shrimp in my freezer just because you never know what you want to add it to, right? I mean, you're going to find out this meal is so easy to make. You're going to make this multiple times. You're going to substitute things in and out, okay? So say you didn't have shrimp. Poultry is another brain-friendly food. You could very easily swap out the shrimp in this meal and add in chicken, okay? That would be another brain-healthy ingredient that you could use. So Questions? Okay, so this is about ready to come out. Any other questions? I don't see anybody's hand going up. Okay, and everyone's still muted. All right, so we must be moving along rather well then. Okay, so the timer is going off. Let's pull this out of the oven. Wow, I wish you guys could smell this. The peppers and the pineapple together just smell so fantastic. Okay, all right, so this is gonna be layer number 3. So we're gonna layer on the shrimp. Keep the oven on, because remember, this is going back in the oven. Okay, so this shrimp that I bought, it wasn't quite 1.5 pounds. I think it's 12 ounces, okay? So it's almost 1 pound. I wasn't too worried about that, all right? I didn't want to buy a whole other bag because then that's too much shrimp. And then remember, I have this quinoa in my grain that is also a protein source, okay? All right, so we got the shrimp on, so add your shrimp to your layer. Now, here's where I'm going to add extra brain health-friendly food that is not on the recipe. I'm adding bok choy, okay? And those of you that don't know what bok choy is, it's like an Asian cabbage, kind of like. It's kind of hard to sometimes find in a grocery store. That's why I think I want to try to grow my own this year. So that I just love the taste of it. It's real, I don't ever eat bok choy raw, but I love to saute it in some olive oil, salt and pepper, and some garlic right on the cooktop, and just serve that as a nice side dish. Okay, so, all right, so our shrimp and our bok choy layer back into the oven. Okay, so for those of you that are using the raw shrimp, you're going to cook yours for 6 minutes. My shrimp is already cooked, so I'm going to go about 3. Okay, so while that is cooking, let's make the sauce for our sheet pan meal. Now, our sauce is going to be a mixture of brown sugar, rice vinegar, and low sodium soy sauce. Now, I don't have low sodium soy sauce. I always keep on hand a substitute for soy sauce. It happens to be called liquid aminos, and this is what it looks like, okay? This is a gluten-free, lower sodium alternative to soy sauce. It actually has a little bit of a stronger soy flavor, which I happen to prefer. So I always use this as a substitute for soy sauce. Okay.
Dawn, we have a question.
Okay.
Loretta is asking if she can use apple cider vinegar instead of rice vinegar.
Yes, I was going to get to that. So, yeah, you can substitute rice, apple cider vinegar or champagne vinegar, okay, if you don't have the rice vinegar. Now, the thing with the rice vinegar is, if you've ever cooked with rice vinegar, it has like some heat to it, right? Has some good spice. So I think that's why they're using that in this recipe. But any kind of vinegar you could certainly substitute. Okay, so we are going to mix these ingredients in our microwave bowl. Okay, so in goes the soy sauce or the liquid aminos if you're using whatever kind of vinegar. This happens to be rice vinegar. I actually really like rice vinegar, so I always have that on hand. And then our light brown sugar, okay? So the thing with light brown sugar is, the word light it refers to the color of the brown sugar, not the calorie content. Okay, so you're just gonna gently mix this together, and then they actually say to put this in the microwave for about 45 seconds, I believe. Yep, so we're gonna put our sauce into the microwave. Okay, so the sauce is in the microwave. You're just gonna do this for 45 seconds, okay? And then we're just gonna whisk it till the sugar dissolved, okay? Kind of, my sugar looked like it already dissolved before I put it in, but this is gonna heat it up a little bit and maybe caramelize the sugar a little bit. All right, so my shrimp happens to be done. Those of you that are using the raw shrimp, you're gonna have 3 more minutes to go. So while that sauce is in the microwave, I am gonna pull out the sheet pan from the oven. All right, wow, piping hot here, looks perfectly cooked, okay? So the sauce is ready. And it did already dissolve. The brown sugar is already dissolved, okay? So what we do next is we're just gonna take our sauce. So for those of you that are still waiting for your shrimp to cook, I'm just gonna go ahead and then you can catch up. You're just gonna pour your sauce over these sheet pan ingredients. Okay, then you're just gonna give this a little toss, okay? Make sure the sauce gets on all the ingredients. Okay. All right. And then what they asked you to do is we're gonna just give this a couple squirts of black pepper. Alrighty, and then top it with cilantro. Okay, now, there are some of us that like cilantro and some of us that don't like cilantro. Okay, so for some of us, cilantro might taste like soap. Okay, so if you are one of those people where cilantro tastes like soap, I'm going to suggest that you not use a cilantro, but use parsley instead. Okay, cilantro does have a very unique flavor. I happen to love it. So, and my husband and I are not one of the people who think it tastes like soap. So I'm actually going to really load mine up with this cilantro. Okay. All right. So again, this is another, leafy green, adding to the brain power of our meal. All right. So one other ingredient left, it's the cashews. And this was an add-on that I'm adding on for some more brain power. Nuts are a brain healthy food, okay? You could use any kind of nuts, really. I just thought that cashews would be a really nice flavor to this meal. So we're gonna just top it off with some cashews. Almonds would also be good here. And then this is just gonna really give it some nice crunch too. Okay, plus protein as well, right? Healthy fats, protein, crunch, fiber. What more could you ask for? Okay, so this is the final product. Okay, I'm gonna try to show it to you. Let me grab another oven mitt. I'm going to shut my oven off also. Okay, so this is the sheet pan meal. Hawaiian shrimp sheet pan meal. Get this as close as I can. Okay, super colorful. super flavorful, lots of brain healthy ingredients. We have 6 of the 10 brain health foods in just one meal, okay? So one of the reasons why I like to use parchment paper on sheet pans is for easy cleanup and easy serving. So when I'm ready to serve this for dinner, what I will just do is take the corners of my parchment paper, gently lift this up and slide it onto my platter, okay? And then your pan is still relatively clean, okay? So that's a nice little kitchen hack, right? Always line your sheet pans with parchment paper, okay? So that's the end of the cook along. This recipe makes about 5 servings, okay? 4 to 5. Each serving has about 500 calories, okay? So it is calorie friendly, right? Very colorful, full of vitamins, antioxidants, protein, and everything. So for those of you that didn't make this along with us, I hope you give this recipe a try. I think you will be pleasantly surprised at how delicious and easy this is. Okay, so that's it for the cook along. Are there any questions?
I have a question, Dawn. So
Okay.
let's say I don't have cashews on hand. I'm one of those
Yes.
people that tries to keep everything on hand, but
Okay.
I could use sesame seeds. Would that also be a brain healthy?
Yes, nuts and seeds.
Nuts and
Yes,
seeds.
you could use like sunflower kernels.
Seeds, okay.
Okay, pumpkin seeds.
Oh, pumpkin seeds.
Or, little pepitas.
Yeah,
If
okay.
you have those on hand, or any other kind of nut. I just thought the cashews would taste really well with this.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah,
you could use,
yeah.
almonds,
What about pistachios? Would those also work?
pistachios. You could
Okay.
use that too. Yep.
Okay, good, good.
Walnuts are a brain healthy food. You could add that if you want. I think the walnuts with chicken in this, I think that would be a really good combo.
Oh,
The
yeah.
walnuts and the chicken with this recipe. And then what I would probably do if I used chicken and walnuts, I would probably use spinach instead of the bok choy. Another leafy green, another, different taste for you. So you can really mix things up with this recipe. That's why I love it. It's very versatile and very brain health friendly.
That's good. Yeah, I know when I'm cooking, I never let not having one ingredient stop me from attacking that recipe. So
Right.
I always try to think of what you can substitute. So
Yes, me too,
yes.
Mary. I'm all about using, recipes as a guide.
Yes, I like that.
And then I really love to, substitute things. If I don't have, there's always a substitute, right?
Yeah.
Always a substitute.
Absolutely. Does anyone else have any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself and chime in. How did our 2 cooks do? I'd like to hear how their experience has been while they're
Yes.
cooking and watching.
Looks wonderful.
Oh,
Good.
good.
Can't wait
You
to
found
eat.
the pace was okay for you?
It was absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
good.
is really, it is so easy to make. I just think it's so easy.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I had some, I saw a little heart there on the screen.
Yeah, that was me. How did
I
you
have
do,
a
Lori?
question. I have never bought cilantro before, so this is a whole new experience for me. I've
Okay.
used parsley, but never cilantro. Do you
Okay.
chop it up before you add it?
Yes, you add
Okay.
it just like you would use parsley. Okay.
Okay.
It actually looks like parsley. If you wait, I'll go grab it out of my refrigerator. I'll show you.
No, I bought some.
Oh, you have some? Okay.
I have some. I
Yeah,
just
it's
didn't know
leafy,
if I
it's
chop.
green leafy. Yeah, now some people have an aversion to it. When they eat it, it tastes like soap.
It tastes like soap to me. Yeah, I use parsley
Okay.
instead.
Okay, so yeah, if you have an aversion to cilantro.
Yeah.
It's very popular in a lot of like Mexican dishes. It's usually added to like tacos or like a salsa. I make it's called cowboy caviar with black beans and corn and tomatoes.
Oh,
and
I love that.
So, any other questions?
I love
You
that.
guys have to see this. Look at my.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that. Good for
beautiful.
you. Oh, that's great.
What is it? Missed that.
She
That's
just
wonderful.
showed what her sheet pan meal looked like.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think she was just at the step, she just needs to top it with the cilantro or parsley. And if she wants to add some nuts to it. I just saw the shrimp on the top, but it
That's
looked
great, Lori.
delicious.
Betty, do you want to show us yours?
Well, I had to improvise. I
Oh.
didn't have pineapple, so I
Okay.
used mandarin oranges.
Oh, that's good too.
Perfect.
Good thinking.
That is an excellent substitute.
Good thinking. Yeah, I like the sound of that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
that makes me think, like, if maybe
I don't know, I guess
again,
I,
like I think I would do like mandarin oranges. I would do the chicken,
Okay.
spinach, and maybe
Ooh.
almonds
Okay,
with
very good.
brown rice. That
Sounds
would be a nice
lovely.
combo.
Okay,
So
So-
the peppers.
okay. I'm going to turn back to gallery view so I can see everyone's lovely faces. And if everyone wants to, since we have so many new Zoomers, if you go to the bottom of your screen, there's a little smiley face and it says reactions. That's how I was putting hearts on my screen when I liked something. So it's kind of a way to give applause without having to be a speaker. So you can go to reactions and you can give a thumbs up or a clap, or like this one, I think is a little celebration confetti. So yeah, so I want to give Dawn, let's give everyone let's everyone give Dawn a reaction. I'm going to give her a big heart because she's
Oh,
wonderful.
thank you.
Yeah. Are there any other questions? Does anyone else have any other
Oh, I
questions?
got some clapping hand. Thank you.
I do. Hi, it's Linda. She asked about rice. Can you use the vinegar instead of the rice? Someone had asked.
Somebody asked, the question was, can you substitute apple cider vinegar for rice vinegar?
Yes.
And the answer is yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And the soy is the low sodium soy.
Yes, low sodium, just because the MIND diet is a combination of the Mediterranean DASH diet, and the
Yes.
DASH diet is a low sodium diet.
Yes.
So, yeah, but again, if you don't have low sodium soy sauce, just use the regular, maybe water it down a little bit. Maybe
Oh, yeah.
just
No, I
water
missed
it
the
down.
part. I missed the part what you did with that.
Oh, the dressing. Okay, so we added a dressing to the top. It was the rice vinegar, the low sodium soy sauce, and brown sugar.
Okay.
Yeah, we just mixed them up in a bowl, put them in the microwave for 45 seconds, and then drizzled it over our dish and tossed.
That's wonderful. I'm going to make that. I love every ingredient that you have in there.
Yeah, and then what I love, this is like your whole meal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
If you want, you could have a salad.
Right.
But honestly, this is so chock full of vegetables. There's fruit in it. There's whole grains. Your shrimp is your protein. It is just a meal on a sheet pan.
Yeah, it's kind of like a veggie wedgie, but without all the.
Yeah, I mean, I just love these sheet pan meals because it's just, you dirty one pan.
Right. That's lovely. Thank you so much.
I think it's fantastic. So
yeah,
I know my husband is super excited to be eating this for dinner, just like me.
Right. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
I think
Any
Loretta,
other questions?
Lori.
I
has
like
some.
the parchment idea.
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
a huge fan of parchment paper. Anything that I cook on a sheet pan, whether it is roasting vegetables, making it pork tenderloin, baking cookies, I always line the sheet pan with parchment paper.
Mhm.
It just makes cleanup so much easier.
It really does. Yeah. And I had a question too, Dawn. You used a substitute for the soy, was it soy sauce that you substituted
Yes,
something else
yes.
for? Where did you find something like that? Because I'm not a non-Aldi shopper. I don't go anywhere else generally.
Oh, okay. So this liquid aminos, I either bought this in the strip district
Okay.
or I got it on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Amazon, I can say.
yeah, I've had it for a while. It's like half gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some grocery stores, you know what? I actually think I saw this one time at Giant Eagle.
Okay, that's
It would be
possible.
it would be like in the Asian food section or the gluten-free section.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So while we still have everyone here, can everyone give me a little reaction if they would like to do another cooking or other class with Dawn online, if they would be up for another Zoom class? Give me a reaction if you're thinking you might like to do that. or unmute and yell, one of the others.
Yeah,
Thumbs up, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
thumbs up. Yeah, what we could do, we could even do something like a smoothie, like a brain healthy smoothie,
Oh, that
Oh,
would be
I love
fun.
you know, which would be not as long, right? Would be maybe more conducive to lunchtime.
Right?
If people are working and they only have like an hour, half an hour, we
Okay,
could do like a brain healthy smoothie.
okay,
Wonderful.
terrific.
Okay, thanks. I gotta
Thank
go.
you again, Dawn, so much. And if
All
anyone
right,
would like to
thank you,
join us,
everyone. Thanks for
Thank
tuning
you.
in.
Yeah,
I hope
and
you'll
it's-
consider coming on Saturday to the Family Fun Walk.
yeah,
Right, I'll have to look that up.
yeah, let me
it's gonna
know
be a
by
fun
email.
morning.
Yeah,
The
just
weather
let
is
me know.
supposed to be very nice.
Yeah.
We're gonna make fruit infused water. We're gonna make homemade Gatorade. You're gonna try all these things.
Okay,
Mary has a fun app that she's gonna show you how to work. And then
Mhm.
we're gonna go on a little walking hike around the grounds. So
wonderful.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be fun. You know,
Just let me know.
exercise and learning new things is really great for your brain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Just let me know, because Kathy's already signed up and so is
Oh,
Marcia.
okay.
So if anyone else wants to go, just,
What
oh, and
time
so
is
is
it?
Lori. Lori, you're coming too, aren't you? Saturday? Maybe. Anyway, let me know by email or phone, like in the next day or two. So Dawn has to prepare things and bring them for us, so she has enough
Okay.
for everybody. So
What
just let me
time
know.
Yeah.
It's at 10 o'clock on Saturday. We're going to meet at the lodge at Laurelville, and you'll see me outside. I'll wave everybody down.
Okay. Do you pay online or?
You can pay online, or you can just pay me. If I know for sure you're coming, you can pay me.
Okay.
That's no problem. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Thanks.
Okay,
great.
thanks everyone.
All right,
Okay,
thank you. Thank you for
Bye.
tuning in.
Goodbye.
All right, bye.